this is in Bill's story where he starts learning about himself and he thinks surely the answer was self-knowledge, yeah? But in the program it says self-knowledge availed us nothing. Now that sounds wild because a lot of value is put on knowledge in this world. But here he's saying self-knowledge will avail you nothing. What is knowledge and what is self-knowledge? All right, so let's say I'm receiving knowledge about my condition, yeah? So I'm learning about my condition of alcoholism. And that knowledge can be very valuable, but I'm identified as the parasite. I'm taking myself to be the parasite. So that would be called self, yeah? So now, when the knowledge about self is offered to me, what's receiving it is a mind in self, yeah? That knowledge about self will not lead me to freedom from self because the self has claimed it, yeah? It's saying, I'm the one who has just learned about me, yeah? This is one of the fundamental traps of identification as self. When you're identified as self, you'll never know it. Yeah? It's not going to, unless grace shows up or you hear it from the outside, when the identification is in place, what is not you is taken to be you. There's no question about it. You may question if you're good or bad, or if you're not enough, or you're great and this and that, but you're not going to question the basic fundamental being you. Yeah? It's not going to, the mind's not going there. So in that situation, and the movement of selfing, to me, its main movement is claiming, yes? It takes advantage of anything it comes in contact with. In other words, it has your life. That's how it's living. It needs a life to live through. It can't live in and of itself because it doesn't have an existence, yes? It exists on the host. So if that condition, that psychic condition of being identified as self is in place, no matter how much you learn about you, it's not going to lead to freedom from you. Yeah? It's not going to produce its true value, which is knowledge to me has no value unless it leads to the freedom from self. I don't want to, it's like a professor of holes. He knows all about holes. He knows all the different kind of holes, but he keeps falling in holes. What's the point of that knowledge? Yeah? If I want to, the knowledge of holes would be valuable if it caused me not to fall into holes. Yeah? So this whole idea of self-knowledge avails you nothing is a very big statement to me, because the movement of selfing, which is what we're identified with, yes, is to claim or to take advantage of. So instead of just, it's presented as my, the word my. So let's say if there's this book here, yeah, and we see a book, and the book is right there. Now the book is seemingly an object in and of itself, all right? There's a book. You want to change it? Now it's my book, yeah? What does the my do? When the book is affixed with the my, the book points to the owner of the book. This is what selfing does. This is how it gets a reflection of itself all day. Instead of a body, it's my body. Whose body is it? My body. Who's that my? What is that my inferring? What is that my pointing to? It's pointing to a self. Yeah? Thoughts. They're my thoughts. Who is that my? Do you ever see the my? Or is it inferred by the claiming of all the activities of the body and the brain? It's claimed by, it's inferred, it's like a finger pointing to a phantom, yet because it's always being pointed at, it takes itself to be so. Yeah? So a thought, the difference between a thought and my thought is unbelievable. Yeah? A thought has a nature of coming and going. You don't know where it came from and you don't know where it goes. It appears on the screen of consciousness and there's an awareness of it. Yes? What happens if a thought comes by in my head and it's affixed with the word my? Yeah? As soon as that thought is claimed to be mine, the system of thought and interpretation called selfing now injects meaning into that thought. The thought isn't bringing you a new meaning about something outside of you. It's a conveyor, and it's like a container, and it gets injected with conditional meaning that you have about you. Yes? into that thought. The thought opens up by awareness, and now you believe the thought is bringing you all this information, but the information was downloaded from a previous thought, the thought of being you. Yeah? This is the freedom from the bondage of self. If I hold a thought to be a thought, it's so much lighter than when it becomes my thought. Yeah? Let's say if they say some research that you have 70,000 thoughts a day. 70,000 thoughts a day moving through the brain. Okay, let's say each one of those thoughts weighs an ounce. And let's say in your day you're aware of, let's say, 3,000 thoughts. Let's just make it that number. So each one of those thoughts would weigh an ounce. So every day that you're attending to the thoughts, you're traveling with 3,000 ounces of weight. Yes? You've been traveling like this for quite a while, you don't even notice it. It's like having a backpack on that you don't even know you have on, okay? You're used to it, you go through your day, you go through your relationships, and it seems to be, hey, I'm sort of traveling just the way everyone else is traveling, okay? Now let's change the thought into my thought, yeah? My thought, like here. You put a word relationship here, yes? Can you see this? Well, let's just, there's a board. You put a word relationship here. You put a word health there. You put a word money there, okay? Now look at it. You hold it. Well, it matters what condition you are in a relationship. That's the meaning that's going to be provoked by that, seeing that thought, yeah? Seeing that word. Relationship. Oh, yeah. Money. If you don't have any, it's going to have a lot of meaning. Health. If you're not healthy, it's going to have meaning. Now let's change it. Let's change it dramatically. Add the word my money, my health, my relationships. Now stand and hold both of those. Hold it as relationship, thought, and money. I mean relationship, health, and money. Now hold it with my relationship, my money, my health. What's the difference? Huge difference. There's a weight to it. You don't see it, but it weighs heavier. Yeah? That's what people are traveling under. Instead of 3,000 ounces, they're traveling with 3,000 pounds. And I'm telling you, when you're traveling with 3,000 pounds, there's going to be something in you that wants freaking relief. It's going to become the main imperative. You're going to be seeking every day for something because you're carrying around a lot of freaking weight. You can't put it down because it's yours. There's been a claiming of it. You can't have freedom from a thought system if you keep thinking you're the thinker of it. If you feel you're the thinker of it, it's like when you're at a park and you're looking at 30 kids. Where does your attention go to? The one that's yours, yeah? If I'm looking at a park and there's 30 kids playing, my attention is going to rest on the one kid that I call mine. That's exactly what happens with thoughts. Thoughts keep showing up. But if they're held as my thought, I'm telling you, your interest and attention is going to follow that thought. Yeah? And when your interest and attention goes with a thought, it goes into that mental realm and you're inherently not here. And if you're not here, you're not going to be satisfied. No matter how much you have, no matter how much you've done, or no matter how much you're thinking you're going to do, you're inherently not going to be satisfied here. And you can tell that you're not satisfied because you're seeking. Yes? Seeking, 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 seeking. It's like happens with surfing. I know people now, they judge their session. It was a beautiful day. The waves were pretty nice. But if they didn't get what they called a good ride, then the session sucked. What an insane dishonoring of the gift of just being in the water and playing around, yes? But this is what the mind does. It plays God. And this is the main thing. For me, this idea of my body, totally different than a body. My time, totally different than time. My thoughts, totally different than thoughts. It's like you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Everything's great. You're having a pretty nice time with them. You're going out to movies, hanging out. Then one day, the mind changes, and now that girlfriend becomes my girlfriend. Now everything changes. Once she becomes my girlfriend, maybe the idea that I have a right to know what she's doing when she's not with me arises. Maybe I start checking in on her business. Maybe I start finding out where she was when she wasn't with me. All of this gets initiated by the my. The my is the bondage of self. The identification, the claiming as the doer, as the haver, as like this bottle is a bottle, but as soon as it's my bottle, the bottle now reflects the me who has the bottle. A thought is a thought. As soon as it's my thought, that thought is constantly pointing at the one who's having the thought. This is the obsession with self. This is how it constantly gets reflection with everything it comes in contact with. It affixes it with the my, and then everything is used as a mirror to reflect you, the doer, you, the haver, you, the long-lasting, independent, separate entity. That's the disease of alcoholism. We're just an extreme example of self-centeredness. Everyone here is walking around in self-centeredness. We're an extreme example of it. Alcoholism is like a subdivision of self-centeredness. It's an extreme version of it. But they're all the same. Everyone is centered in self. Yeah? Everyone, when they're witnessing thoughts, there's the thought that I'm the thinker of it, or they're about me. That's the bondage. That's the bondage. We're saying maybe, just maybe, you're not that. If you're not that, I'm telling you, what gets freed is the interest and attention. Interest and attention is like a bloodhound. It's going to go to whatever you believe to be you. If you think you're an idea, if you think you're an image, if you think you're a body, well, I'll tell you something, that interest and attention is going to keep going to your body condition, going to your mental condition, going to your emotional condition. And you'll want to get relief from it, but it won't take, you can't call it off. But if you're not that, if you're not the owner of the body, if you're not the thinker of the thoughts, if you're not the true doer of the actions, then you can have relief from the actions, relief from the thoughts, yeah? And I'll tell you, the body does a lot better. Alcoholism is trippy because there's the you, which is the body, yeah? I'm sitting here right now, and from where you're looking at, I'm a you, yeah? Now it's called Paul because you've met me, but the I, which I believe is what you are, the awareness, is looking out of the eyes of that body, which is a you to me, and is seeing a you. Yeah? So always the same experience is happening, no matter how many yous there is. There's just one eye seeing all these yous. Yeah? The eye shifts position. At the same time I'm seeing you, the eye is seeing this as a you. Yeah? Now, if you take 800 people and bring them in here, they have the same experience of this. It's a you. Every one of them would go, hey, you. Yeah? Everyone. 8 billion people. Same thing, you. What happens, though? And even when I look at it, I see it just like I see a body called you. Yeah? But my mental process goes like this. It claims the I, or the spirit that's seeing, and it weds it with the you that's being seen, and it produces this incredible bastard child, which is me. Now here, in all these people's experience, I'm a you, but I override every one of their experiences, and I stubbornly say, no, it's me. The me is the selfing. The me is the root of the disease of alcoholism, the me. If the me could be seen as not what I am, and my interest and attention left that me, then there would be enough interest to make sure the you does pretty damn good, and there'd be enough interest to be present or awake to the I-ness of life. You'd be awake to your consciousness, yeah? You would be conscious. You are that consciousness. But it's this absorption in the me. It's like being up an ass. You're so up the ass of me, you don't even see the you as a body. It's seen as your body. You don't even see it as a body. And the I, that is the activity of spirit moving through this location, this physical location, is taken to be, I'm the one who's seeing. I'm the one who's feeling. If I'm looking at something, if my eyes open, I'm going to see whatever goes by it. Yes? Am I the one that's seeing that? Or is that an afterthought to the seeing? The seeing is first. Conscious contact is what I am. So here's the conscious contact. The I You're seeing, you're hearing, you're feeling, you're tasting, you're touching. And in Buddhism, they say there's a sixth sense, which is the mind sees a thought like the eye would see a bird. So here's consciousness in contact here, yeah? It's through seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. The mental process arises, claims it, and now says I, this bastardized version of I, which is combined with the you and made into me, it's me that's seeing, it's me that's hearing, it's me that's feeling, it's me that's tasting. What gets forgotten is what we truly are. What's assumed to be us is an afterthought. It's an interpretation called me. This is the freedom from the bondage of self, is when you're bonded to that me as you,